Jordan taking over Chicago. It's the coach. This is NFL football on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Jordan Howard, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just across the Allegheny River from downtown Pittsburgh at rain-soaked Heinz Field in the Steel City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, the beat goes on, doesn't it? A perfect 10-0 to start the campaign.
And it's a good locker room to be in, too. Guys don't show up on game day hoping to win. They expect to win. And so far, they've yet to have a letdown.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 6'5 quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
He didn't have as many throws or plays in college as many of the quarterbacks that were coming out in the draft, but he maximized what he had. Ended up winning 2 national championships as a starting quarterback at North Dakota State.
Throwing on first is Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
Here we go.
That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. He's locked in early. 2 nice first down completions to start.
I like the fact that he's seeing the whole field early, spreading it around a little bit in the early going.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down.
A nice performance last week, recognized as NFC Player of the Week after going over 100 yards rushing. I just love the vision. I love the wiggle he has, but I also love the power when he ends his runs.
That's what impressed me. Yes, there was some elusiveness last week. A couple times he just ran over guys. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Let's go.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
The numbers there for Howard a week ago. He hit pay dirt so many times we almost lost track. Every time we turned around, he was in the end zone. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. Well, these guys scored touchdown after touchdown in that win a week ago. So how do they come out this week? Same way. They've got that momentum going, a touchdown on the opening drive.
I think it's safe to say that they're in a groove, isn't it? I mean, a lot of times we've seen where teams have scored a ton of points the week before. The very next week struggle to score almost as if they used it all up. Not in this case. This group appears locked in.
And we're going to have to make some adjustments if you're on the other side of that football. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a product of NC State. It's Jacoby Brissett.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown pass.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that, and they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard on fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Ryan Switzer, the intended target, and it's second down. Quick throw into the hands of Switzer. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Brissett. And that will be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Here's Jackson to return. Skirts by him at the 35. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. On the delay, it's Howard. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Stephon Tuitt came out of Notre Dame as another one of those really tall defensive ends, and you just wondered, would they be able to have the leverage to bend and make plays? I think he just gave us an answer with that tackle.
And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Running with Howard. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. And we get a peek at the offense and a peek at Alshon Jeffrey.
An absolute matchup nightmare for any defensive back. Size, speed, terrific hands.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They run with Howard. Shrugs off another. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 12 yards there and a first down. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Give him 2 yards on the game there, and it will take us to the end of quarter number 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Go. Empty.
Trying to punch it in with Howard. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If this is all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Officially, no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. On 3rd down, Brissett. And that is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
On the return, Jackson. And he spins through. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And he's found the end zone twice, and now I'm guessing he's thinking, hey, let's find it 3 times.
And you got to figure from the defensive perspective, how has he gotten there twice? What are we going to do to keep him out for a 3rd time? How do we tighten things down? Because he and his offensive mates, they are really in sync right now.
Fancy footwork at the 45. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Out of the gun, this is Howard. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down. Keep the sticks moving.
Oh, now he bowls him over. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. This is Howard on 2nd down. Oh, he breaks another. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 17 yards and a 1st down for Philly. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along.
A little bit of daylight on that 1st down run sets him up nicely. 8 yards on the carry. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. 2 minutes to play. First half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for him. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay,
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called a desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now Brissett. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. James Washington was the intended target. 3rd down here. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll get nothing out of the completion there, and it leads to a 4th down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the play.
Offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. And in the second quarter, it's the Redskins who are out in front. Josh Dotson, a touchdown reception. From there, it's off to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting Jaguars. Andrew Luck has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last. We head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And they were losers in that ball game to the visiting Cleveland Browns. 16-14 was the final score. In our game, it's been Carson Wentz with a strong first half. His guys have a 3-touchdown lead as we're about ready to go into the second half. And to get you through it, we give it back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now, so as you mentioned,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Brown has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really...
A big seam, and he might go all the way. The 40. And all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
It's a big play there for the Steelers. 61 yards that time on the ground. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Brissett now. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. The 20. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 28-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Like 51. Come on, D.
At the 37-yard line.
On second and 12, Brissett over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
That's a gain of 8. Makes it 3rd and 4.
Brissett from the gun on third. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They went
weaving through traffic, and now he's free. Past the 20, 10, touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. And you know, you and I praise tight ends in today's game a lot for being just like a bigger body wide receiver. Boy, a play that long from that position, you just didn't used to see that as much.
No, you were really just counting on the tight end position to catch the football and get what they got on the catch. And now it's the run after the catch that makes them so dangerous. Hard to bring those big guys down when they get rolling.
Couldn't bring him down here. Got into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 1st down, Samuels. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Now a draw play. This is Connor. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 15 here after the first and second down plays went in the wrong direction.
Don't let 89
From the shotgun, it's Brissett, and that is incomplete. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here's Jackson. Oh, twisting away. Uses the spin, and now running right through it. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. On 1st down, they run with Howard.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Schwatty! And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A big pickup of 38.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On 1st and goal, Howard. And he will take this one in for an Eagle touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And now here's Switzer, the target, and he's got it. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll run with Samuels. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. Just rely more on the passing attack.
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time. Through an opening, and there he goes. 30, the 20, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. That was a pretty impressive touchdown play. Those broken tackles, those weren't easy to get by.
No, they really weren't. And they've had trouble tackling throughout this ball game. But on this particular play, how about that move? Or I should say moves with an S. Because I don't care if you're a great tackler. You had trouble getting him on the ground on that play.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Brissett sets to throw it. And that'll be in. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets him 6. Out of the gun, Brissett. And he finds McDonald. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 23 yards, the final tally. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Brissett, open man is Switzer, complete. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. So fly, Eagles, fly. It's a victory for Philadelphia. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that, and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Eagles, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it's starting to look like it won't be their year as they drop to 5-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis.